21st through the 23rd verse. In chapter 10 of Hebrews started with Paul was calling out and pleading for the saints to hold to the new faith.
Yes, sir.
Hold to the new way of Jesus Christ. Because the way of Jesus, the Christ, is better than the old Mosaic laws. If you take your history and you reread the book of Leviticus, it'll tell you all the laws that the children added to what God had already put in place. For example, we know that there's 10 commandments. We know that. But man, on top of those 10 commandments in the Old Testament, added some more to it. Now that's main part of it. So that it went from 10 commandments for the Israelites to over 600 commandments and laws. That's what man will do for you. But anyway, in the 10th chapter of Hebrew, Paul is saying, I need y'all to understand that Jesus Christ is the better way. The Mosaic law was okay during that time. But even at that time, you all, the Israelites, was not in the position to save themselves. And God had to come up with some plan. So he came up with the Mosaic laws. And one purpose of the Mosaic law was also to prove that just how short we as human beings come from being perfect. Because we know we can't do it. The old laws were okay during that time. But it wasn't complete. Because of the repeated disobedience of the children of Israel, God continually poured out his mercy and his grace upon the Israelites. Yet they continue to sin. The blood of the sacrifice that they made to God was not complete. The blood only covered the sin. Now this is important. The blood only covered the sin, but it didn't take away the sin. There is a big difference. If you notice, it sort of reminds us of repeatedly when we paint over an iron material, inside or outside of a house or a building. Over a period of time, we notice that the elements of the atmosphere, the heat and the cold, the wet and the dry, the expansion and the collapsing of items, with the change of the temperature, well, over a period of time, that same rust that we was trying to cover up, that same rust that we was trying to prime and hide, that same rust makes its way little by little through the layer of paint. I don't know if y'all ever noticed vehicles going down the road, or your outside furniture that's made out of metal, and you paint it one year and next summer you got to paint it again. Well, that's what the Israelites was doing, covering up sin. And gradually that rust was spread. And gradually that sin was spread. Because it was an ongoing battle. It was a struggle and a war between covering up not only the metal, but covering up their sins. Our lives sometimes resemble that.
Yes, it does.
A continuous struggle with sin. Trying to cover it up, but yet somewhere along the way it raises its ugly head, or its ugly truth. But thanks be to God, as he sat in heaven watching over us, knowing that we were heading in some similar situation as the chosen people, the Israelites. God knew eons ago, a long time ago, back in ancient days, God knew that we couldn't help ourselves. Before you and I was even thought of, before you and I was even born, God knew and already made a plan of salvation for all mankind. Because see, you got to realize also in the Bible, some things are meant only for what? The Israelites. And no other persons. But as you study that, you'll learn it. Some things only refer to the Israelites. But as we go on, why? Because we could not save ourselves. This is why Jesus' sacrifice and resurrection was the new covenant. It is better than the Mosaic laws of the old covenant. David said, God, have not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. For as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far as he removed our transgressions and our sins from us. Like